So good morning everyone. Uh, Today I will give lecture on behalf of Professor Kenichi Soga. The course is the geotechnical and geoenvironmental engineering. So I will talk about the later part like geoenvironmental engineering part. So actually we all are know already like geo means like something related to soil and environment is surroundings of us. So today mainly I focus about geoenvironment, that means like soil environment. So why it is important and what happened if it is polluted like other environment. So basically today's topic will be soil pollution and how to clean up, or especially there is a special method, we call it bioremediation. So I will focus these two topics. So here is the main topics for to discuss today. Like at first in general, what is environmental pollutions, then soil pollution, causes of soil pollution, effects of soil pollution, cleanup options for polluted soils, remediation and phytoremediation. So let's talk about pollution. So what is pollution actually? So pollution is nothing but, we know, if the current state is changed in negatively, that affects to the human or to the society as a whole, that is called pollution. And whenever we think about pollution of like especially environment, we first think about the air pollution, like what we can be affected directly. But there are many other pollutions which is very much negatively affect to the human society. One of them is water pollution. It could be like surface water pollution, like river water or like pond water, or it could be like groundwater pollution. So whenever we talk about groundwater pollution, it is something related to the soil or soil pollution. And there are many other pollutions, like especially in the urban areas we have light pollution. So at the night there are a lot of light, so we cannot see the stars clearly. This is not the real problem, but the problem is many other species or creatures who lives in the dark, but they are afraid they cannot get that enough dark at the night. So light pollution is very serious pollution in the future, especially in the urban areas. But today I will mainly focus on the soil pollution, or what is the problem of soil pollution and what is the reasons of the soil pollution. And you know why soil is so important. In 2015, according to the United Nations, they made it the 2015 as the year of soil. And the slogan or catchphrase of that, healthy soils for a healthy life. So this is very, very significant one. So why the healthy soil is needed? Because in our common sense or in our daily life, water is too much related to us. If we drink water every day, without water we cannot survive. Like if the water is polluted, it is directly affect to the human. Again, air pollution is also something very much serious. If the air is polluted, the animals and especially human beings will be the sufferer very much. But most of the general people, they do not think, they do not understand what is the effect of soil pollution. If the soil become polluted, what happens? What is the direct effect to the human being? So there is one term in our things, we call it bioaccumulation. So it means some of the pollutant can be accumulated gradually in the some living things. So one big example of bioaccumulation is that many pesticides are used before in the soil in the agricultural field. For example, DDT. Now it is prohibited in many countries, but before it was widely used actually. And if it goes to the soil, and this is earthworm, the DDT comes to its body. And if there are some bird, take this earthworm, eat this earthworm, the DDT bioaccumulate in its body. And this is very much serious. If the DDT goes to its body, bird's body, or any avian animals, then what happens? Their eggshell, will be soft. It means there will not be any new baby or any new chick. So ultimately it will be extinct. So this is the one example of soil pollution. If this soil is polluted, then even a small amount we do not care normally, but it could be goes to this cycle, and one special creature could be vanished from this world. And I will give an example. Actually, I am associate professor in Yamaguchi University, Japan. So Japan is very much serious about the environmental pollution, but like in 60s, there was one very famous, or I could say like notorious pollution happened due to the mercury. Okay, so one of the industry, they just dump their waste in the nearby river in southern part of Japan, and those mercury are bioaccumulated by the fish. Okay. Basically, the mercury is like heavy metal, so it goes down in the river bed, but it comes to the like earthworm in the shell, and fish eat those shells or those earthworms, and that mercury, methyl mercury, that came to their fish body. And people do not understand. It's very difficult to detect if you do not test. And people of the area ate those fish, and that methyl mercury come to the human body. And for that, mercury poisoning is very serious. It is like almost 20 or 30 years that one of the famous disease, they called it Minamata disease, is there. So ultimately many different types of cancers happen, and many people killed by those soil pollution or environmental pollution. So even we cannot see, or we cannot have some direct feelings of what is the problem of soil pollution, but ultimately it is a very serious problem. So from that perspective, healthy soils for a healthy life. So if we need healthy life, we must have the healthy soil. So what is soil pollution? Soil pollution is defined as the presence of materials in the soil which is harmful to the living beings. So any kind of things which is harmful to the living beings would be the source of soil pollution. And the important thing is that any like good elements or good things, if it is have some certain level of concentration, then it could be a source of soil pollution. For example, like a small amount of copper is needed, but if it is more than that, it could be harmful to the living beings. But what we are talking about, like soil pollution, is mainly caused by the man-made chemicals, and there are many activities, human activities, which are most responsible for this. For example, like industrial waste dumping, or like our domestic wastewater, if we just throw here and there, and also like landfill, if it is not designed properly, if it is not engineered landfill, then it could be the source of soil pollution. And one of the biggest way of soil pollution is the agricultural pollution. So the farmers use lot of chemicals, like chemical fertilizers, or even like pesticides to kill the pest or bad insect, or like herbicides. So there are a lot of chemicals the farmers use to grow their crops. Those things are very much serious for the environment, soil environment. So these are the list of soil pollutions, causes of soil pollutions. Like number one is, especially like developed countries, what happened? Rupture of underground storage tanks. Lot of the industry, they create their chemicals underground. Okay. And many times it happens like due to some factors like earthquake or even some other factors, they leak or they broke, and it causes the soil pollution. And number two is the application of pesticides in the agricultural field, oil and fuel dumping. Many developing countries, they do not care about the environment, they just dump their oil and fuel. And leaching of waste from the landfills, this is one of the biggest source of soil pollution. And of course, like nuclear power plant accident, what happened in Fukushima in Japan. So after the the biggest tsunami and earthquake in 2011, the Fukushima power plant accident happened, and before that it Chernobyl in Russia. So it causes a lot of soil pollution actually by radiation. And natural disasters like tsunami, this is very important. So I have on research in the tsunami affected area. So what happened, when the tsunami came, they just brought lot of sediments which are settled like hundreds of years, and they brought all the pollutants which are settled before to the shoreline, because the tsunami water came from the from the shore to like 10 kilometers inside inland, and when they settled, of course the soil has polluted by the high saline water, but not only that, they are also polluted with other heavy metals, and some of the like arsenic and some dangerous things. The most common chemicals involved are like hydrocarbons, solvents, pesticides, and some heavy metals. These are the source of soil pollutions, both in the naturally or by human. So what is heavy metals? In quick, if I said, like, less commonly any metal with the potential negative health effect or the environmental impact may be termed as heavy metal. So these are the list of some heavy metals which are mostly like responsible for the soil pollution if it is by the heavy metal. So maybe in future you will hear many times, if there is soil pollution, there is something with heavy metals, and at that time it is like lead or mercury, cobalt, chromium. So like mostly these are coming from industrial activities. So if the industrial waste is not managed properly, then it could be very much serious problem to soil pollution. And one of the like notorious element which is not heavy metal, we call it arsenic, As. This is very much serious pollution, I mean soil pollution, and it comes to the groundwater because it is water soluble. And this is the causes of like various skin cancer and everything. And you see many parts of the world has spread the arsenic, and most of the time it is not by human made. Okay, this is natural, especially near the Himalayas area in Nepal or Bangladesh, India, or some other parts of like Mongolia. They are all natural. Okay, but this is the very serious source of soil pollution. So what happened if soil pollution occurred? Like other pollutions, if soil pollution occurred, the quality of will be changed. Okay, for example, like this is good quality soil, it will be become like bad quality. Okay, and it will affect the normal use of the soil, particular soil. For example, I will give an example. There is one rice field. Okay, so this field will normally use for the growing rice. This is the normal use of that soil. But after the natural disasters or man-made disasters, it is polluted. So we cannot use that soil or that land for crop production or rice production. So this is one of the thing or examples of what happened after the soil pollution occurred. So the thing is that we cannot use that soil anymore as normal. And waves of pollutants come to the soil, and most of the cases, especially in the USA or in the developed country where they try to maintain in other sources, but it comes mainly by accident. Okay, not regularly or not like a way of ignorance, but people are trying to keep the environment clean, but there are sometimes some accidents happen and it goes to the soil. And like some pouring some toxic materials in the soil, okay, or illegal dumping. Like for example, if you throw your refrigerator, okay, so refrigerator contains a lot of like chemicals or freon and other chemicals. Those are very much dangerous for the soil environment. So these type of things also cause some soil pollution or causes some quality change of the soil. Let's see what happens if the pollutant comes to the soil surface. So it could be washed away. So as a geoenvironmental engineer, you have to know like what happened after the pollution. So you have to consider about the weather condition, like whether there is rain or not. If there is a rain, there could be the chance to wash away the pollutants. So where the pollutant was there, it could be not there, so it will be washed some other areas. So you have to think, and you have to think what is the type of pollutant, whether it is volatile or not. If volatile, it means it could be evaporate automatically, it could be like not remain on the soil surface. So that will cause little harm to the soil environment. But the most dangerous thing is that pollutant could infiltrate through the unsaturated soil, and it could be goes with the groundwater. So groundwater, always flow under the ground. So if the pollutant reaches to the groundwater by infiltration, it will go and spread to the groundwater, and that is the most serious thing. So from soil pollution, the groundwater could be also polluted, and if the groundwater polluted, then we will all be affected directly. And some agricultural practice, this is also very um, oh, good source of soil pollution, I will say. Like most of the time, the farmers use a lot of chemicals like fertilizers or like pesticides or herbicides, and these are the source of soil pollution because the excess amount will washed away to the nearby water body and suddenly they will settle in the water bed. Okay, or it could make this problem, it is called eutrophication. Okay, so eutrophication means the amount of nutrients, that is nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, will be very high in the water body, and those nutrients come from the, for example, agricultural fertilizer or something like that, and when they come to the water body, the plankton will be grown in the water. So lot of water plants, aquatic plants will grow, and when the plants die, the bacteria in the water, they try to eat or degrade that one, and when the bacteria degrade this, they use the dissolved oxygen from the water, and it means it will create some lack of oxygen condition. So no oxygen condition in the water, and if there is no oxygen in the water, then fish will die. So you see what happens, what a big cycle. The farmers just use the fertilizers in their field, for example rice field or corn field, and it goes to the nearby water, in the pond, in the river, and that causes the death of the fish. So this is called like eutrophication, and this eutrophication phenomenon could be also happening due to the other human activities, like if we do not take care of your domestic wastewater, like to wash your clothes, there are a lot of phosphorus inside the like detergent, and those wastewater goes to the drain, and it ultimately goes to the river, and that causes the same thing, eutrophication. It means many aquatic plants, living creatures like fish or shells or other benefits, those creatures who live in the like tidal flood area, those could be also affected or die. So this is one of the reasons why the soil near the tidal flood area is polluted. So tidal flood area means like where there is like sea shore area, sometimes tide comes, sometimes it's exposed to the atmosphere. Those are very serious things, like good for the animals or like some other special creatures, but those are the places which are most vulnerable for this soil pollution. So we must think this one. So how to take care of this? Let's see what is the effects of soil pollution. Number one, what I showed first, that health risk from direct contact with the contaminated soil, vapors from the contaminated. So if the soil is polluted here and you do not know, you go there, you will be affected by the direct contact. For example, if this area is polluted by radioactive materials, the soil is polluted by radioactive materials, and you do not know. If you go there, you will be affected by radiation. Okay, this is very serious. So you must be protected. Okay, you have to have protection before going to survey any soil pollution area, or you have to have background knowledge. What is the source of pollutant? Okay, so in the future when you go to the work, many of you will have this situation, because soil pollution is very common in the USA or in the all over the world. So please be careful about that. Okay, do not go, because most of the time you cannot see the pollution, you cannot see the radiation. So you have to be careful. And number two, contamination of water supplies within the underlying soil. Okay, what I mean, like groundwater pollution. At first, the surface or soil surface is polluted, and ultimately by infiltration, it could pollute or contaminate the groundwater. So first, soil pollution happened, and after that, the contamination of groundwater happened. And this is the very much important, like ecosystems. So soil chemistry will be changed. As I mentioned, like any pollutant, if it goes to the soil, it will change the quality. And what quality it will change? Normally it is the chemical quality. Chemical properties will be changed, because there are many new chemical reactions happening and new compounds generated. And then what I showed here, like it could be effects to the total, like food cycle. Here I gave an example of DDT, right? That birds or chickens could be vanished, but it could be happen to the cow. Like if the soil is contaminated with radioactive materials, what happens after the power plant accidents in Chernobyl or in Fukushima? Lot of areas become high radiation, and there are many animals there already there, and they eat the grass, which is also contaminated by the radiation, and those radiation goes to the cows. And if we eat those beef or take meat from that cows, we will be affected by that high radiation. So this is very serious problem. If soil is polluted, it will affect the total food cycle, total ecosystem actually. And last one, for agricultural land, if it is polluted, it could change the plant metabolism. It means the plant will not give any crop or expected crop, what we are doing. Like after the tsunami, lot of agricultural land becomes polluted, and when the farmers try to grow, for example, corn, the corn was not becoming big enough. They are very small or not good quality. So the change of the soil properties could change or affect to the crop production or agricultural production. So soil pollution has not only human health effect but also total ecosystem. Okay, so this is very serious, but very often we do not care about soil pollution. Here is some examples of soil pollution in the USA. Like each year, thousands of sites complete the soil contamination cleanup, and some are doing by using microbes and some by other excavation or air stripping. We will see later. And this is one data from EPA, like how much contaminated soil is generated from site cleanup, and this is only from California area, okay, California state, and you can see the almost 7 million or 8 million sometimes. So it's a huge. So if the soil pollution occurred in America, most of the time they just excavated the soil and take to the other place to treat. it is a huge cost. You can imagine how much at first you have to excavate, then you have to carry those soils to other places, and then you have to treat those soils to remove the contaminants. So it's a huge cost, and every year it is happening here. And in California, how to deal with the contaminated soil, or like their first choice is immobilization, or sometimes it calls like containment of the waste. So solidification and stabilization and containment, like landfill or capping. So they put the soil in the landfill and then put it final cover, like very hard layer of concrete, reinforced concrete or so. And then extraction is like soil vapor extraction, thermal desorption, or soil flushing or washing. So this is one kind of way how to clean up the soil. And another thing is destruction or alteration by thermal, biological, or chemical. So it will just change the properties of the pollutant. So these are the cleanup options in the California. Let's see what is the cleanup option for all. Like nowadays, microbes can be used in the soil cleanup, like bacteria, fungi, like this type of small microorganisms. They can be used to clean up the soil. And the most used method is to excavate the soil and take it to the disposal site. So what I mentioned, just take out the soil and then they put it some other places. For example, after the like natural disasters, many school field was contaminated. Okay, so if the students of the school are playing in the playground, they will be affected from that. So in that cases, you don't have any other options. You have to just excavate, for example, like 20 centimeter or 1 feet layer whole of your playground and take it to other places for treatment. Okay, and put it new soil, good soil in the playground. So this is the most common practice if you want to like quick solution. And there are some other things like aerations or thermal remediation, and also bioremediation by using bacteria. And number 6, like extraction of, if it is groundwater pollution, they just take out the groundwater and then some remove the vapor, especially if it is contaminated by the volatile source. The main thing is that you have to know what is the element, what is the pollutant that causes the soil pollution, and according to that pollutant you have to take the actions or methods to clean up. So this is the way to choose the soil pollution treatment. And this is one example, like how to containment. Like if there is one industry here and your polluted soil is here, you will just make some shield by, for example, it could be like sheet pile, like made of steel, or maybe it could be like concrete, so that that pollutant cannot move and cannot go to the groundwater. Okay, so this is one option how to keep or how to deal with the polluted soil. But it is possible only when you have a small amount of pollution, okay, a small amount of polluted soil. And this is another way, like excavate and carry to other places, but it has some disadvantages as well, though it is commonly practiced everywhere, but it's very high cost because you have to excavate first, carry to other places, and then treatment. So the cost is very high. And not only that, it is not possible if it the pollution extends very wide area. So how much excavate can you do that, right? So excavation and also when you carry the polluted sun from one place to another with your, it is another source of pollution. Okay, so there are some disadvantages. So people are thinking how to do some biological way, okay, biocontrol of the. So as I mentioned, agricultural pesticide and like to kill the pest is one of the most used chemicals in the agricultural field. So can we do like, if it is like biocontrol, by selecting some special crops or special things which is biological, that could reduce the pest, that could reduce the insect. Okay, so this is one of the like recent trend, or organic farming. So in organic farming, people do not use the chemicals, they choose something like a cover crop as a biocontrol for a specific pest. For example, if you grow cilantro, okay, coriander plant, it has some strong smell, herb, so many insect will not come to that crops. So if you put cilantro inside your cauliflower garden, for example a tomato garden, then you can reduce the amount of bad insect or something like that. This is called biocontrol. And sometimes if you use some source of compost or organic manure, normally what is now applying in the organic farming, so that is also have good impact to control the disease. And sometimes good insect is used to kill the bad insect. Okay, so there is some biocontrol way, like in many countries now trained birds are applied, like eagle or something, to catch the mouse from the grass feed or farm feed. So they do not use any chemicals or any other things, they try to do that. So if the soil pollution happened, so you have to have this information before going to the site, like what kind of material causes that, whether it is organic or inorganic, and then how much material was added to the soil, what is the carbon nitrogen ratio of the material, or how much they added nutrients, and that what type of soil that one, and what is the growing condition of that, and how long has the material been. So these are the things you have to know when you go for cleanup or doing some works in the polluted soil. So I think many of will have in the future this type of challenges like soil pollution. So at that time you have to think those points in your mind, like what type of, not only what type of soil, what type of pollutants, and what is the environmental condition, growing conditions, and whether it is immediate danger to the people or not. So if it is immediate danger like radiation or some volatile materials, then you have to keep the guard, like people should not go in there, like general people or children especially. So we have to take immediate action before doing any treatment or further. So now last 10 minutes we'll talk about bioremediation. So this is one of the recent approach to clean the soil pollution. Not only soil pollution, many other like water pollution and some other pollutions can be also treated by this bioremediation. So this new technology is using friendly bacteria to clean up the pollution or polluted material. This is one example. this is carbohydrate, any gasoline for example. If the soil is polluted by this oil for example, the microorganisms will eat that soil. Okay, they can eat anything, any carbohydrate they can eat, hydrocarbon they can eat, and after eating, by their metabolism they can break it to carbon dioxide and water. So when oil is very much serious pollution, okay, for the soil. By the bacterial metabolism it can be broken to carbon dioxide and water, and then they will release that to the atmosphere. So your soil will be clean. So this is an example of bioremediation. Okay. So this is very environment friendly approach because you do not need to use any other chemicals, and you can do it in the same place where the contamination happened, or you can take it to other place and do that. So you have some flexibility, and it is of course cheap, okay, compared to other traditional methods. But it has also some limitations because so far they are very good to clean the hydrocarbons or like other organic solvents, some metals, but they are not good at heavy metal, okay, so far, because they cannot, the bacteria cannot withstand with a very toxic environment. So here are the some advantages or good points of bioremediation. Like bioremediation can be employed in areas that are inaccessible without excavation, and sometimes in natural process, so no need any chemicals for the treatment. So if the soil is polluted for a vast area like kilometers, 10 kilometers or something, like what happened after the tsunami, okay, natural disaster. So in those areas, it is very difficult to clean up with the traditional method. For example, one of the traditional methods is to wash with the fresh water, but you cannot imagine how much fresh water it will require for this type of area, and how to manage the after washing that soil, okay, where you treat the water or something. So for those area, bioremediation is very very good. So we did, our research team did some field experiments in the northern part of Japan after the tsunami affected area. So we cleaned the agricultural field by using some microbes, friendly bacteria. Okay, we prepare the bacteria, mix it with compost, and then apply in the field, and they work very well. Okay, so bioremediation is also very good for the vast area, and if it is polluted by the, like I mentioned, some other hydrocarbons or like some metals or even salinity, then it is very much useful. And what should you monitor during the bioremediation? So you have to check the redox or oxidation reduction potential, and you have to check the pH, whether it is acidic or basic, temperature, oxygen content, okay, and what is the breakdown products like carbon dioxide also. So these are the things during the monitoring of the bioremediation. So any other treatment options, you have to monitor your soil. For the case of bioremediation, you have to take care about the 6 points. So this is very important. But there are some things like what is the conditions that favor the bioremediation, like bioremediation is microbes will be happy to work. Okay, so you have to think the favorable temperatures, the water available. If it is too dry, bacteria cannot survive. So you have to apply some water. And if, whether they have enough food, and bacteria's food is like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, the nutrients. And you have to check the carbon-nitrogen ratio, CN ratio, and whether there is enough oxygen or not in the soil. So these are the things you have to check during the bioremediation process. And there are two types of bioremediation. One is in situ bioremediation, another one ex situ. In situ means it will be treated in the same area where it is a pollution occurred, and ex situ means you will take out the soil from the polluted area to other area and then treat that one. So there are two types of bioremediation process. And in situ is like this. One example of like this. This is contaminated soil or polluted soil, and you will put the supply the food to the bacteria, like nutrients as I mentioned, or like water or oxygen. Okay, and the bacteria will be active after getting those food and water and everything, and they will work here. So this is one example of in situ bioremediation. So this is very much good, like less expensive, create less dust and less possibility of contaminant release to the environment, and good for large volumes. But disadvantage is a little bit slower and doesn't work well in clays or highly layered subsurface. If there is clay, it will not so good. But ex situ, it is easier to control, okay, and used to treat wider range of contaminants faster, but the problem is costly, as I mentioned. So you have to excavate the soil, take out, carry with your truck, and then treat. So it has some cost involvement. The last one is this is also biologically treatment of the polluted soil. It is called phytoremediation, and it applies some plants, living plants can clean the soil. This is very interesting. And how do they do that? I mean, for example, if there is some pollution here, and you put or plant one trees or like small plants, they can take out the pollution from the soil by their roots. Okay, and they will take it in their plants. So this is very interesting. So especially, I think all of you are familiar with this plant, this fern, and these fern are very good to take out the pollution from the soil. Even like radish and some other vegetables, they can take out the radioactive materials from the soil. They're very strong. And like sunflower, everybody is familiar with it. They can take out the sodium from the soil. So there are many plants. This is of course environment friendly, and they can be used widely to take out the pollution from the soil. But it has some limitations, like it can clean only their root area. Okay, if the pollution is go very deep, they cannot clean that one. And sometimes it grows slow, and sometimes it is difficult to survive in the plants in the contaminated soil or something. So, but this is another new technology to clean up the pollution, clean up the soil pollution. Okay, so not only bioremediation by using the microbes, but also living plants can clean the soil. Okay, so that's all. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Yeah, sure.
What was those, I guess in Japan right after the tsunami, in terms of like their priorities in trying to get infrastructure back up online and resume to normal, what is like cleaning the soil with the, what
For example, if there is some agriculture area, okay, so if the like land is polluted, so or after just after the tsunami, the farmers do not did not lost not only their crops but also their soil. So this means they cannot grow their crops next year or next year. So that is equally important to clean up the soil, like with infrastructure or something like that, because without their livelihood they cannot survive. So Japanese government they do like parallel. Okay. The infrastructure like the road and other things they really very quickly, but for soil pollution treatment it not only takes a long time, but we try to use some like special technology how to make it faster. So within 2 years they become normal. Any other questions or comments? So like try to think about environment, okay? And try to think about soil environment. This is very important. And I think from now, like another 30 years, it will be the good work or good challenge for the geoenvironmental engineering to protect the environment, soil environment, to clean the soil environment. And we need more new technologies to do it more, faster, okay? Like we do not wait for 6 months to clean one area. So you have to make little bit faster technology how can do it, and at the same time it should be like less costly. Okay? So think everyone, you are the new generation, new civil engineers, new ideas will be needed for the whole global community. Okay? Thank you very much.
Okay.